Well, here we all are then. Listen up, lads. I've called us together for a reason. The dogs hit us hard last time, coming right to the centre of our turf. Well, I didn't want no rash response, but now our heads have cooled, it's time we looked at how to bite back. The dogs are trying to get the nuclear reactor on their turf up and running. We've got to win this war before that can happen. That reactor could produce double the power Battersea can. The gentry would have the tummies in their gaff in seconds. They'd be untouchable. So now's the time to strike, and strike hard. And we've got us some extra help now. The lab rat we found down bridge is moving up in the world. This wayfarer is now a vagabond.
Nice one.
Good work, mate.
Get in.
You've had a taste of Syndicate blood, wayfarer. I'm hoping you're hungry for more. We're moving to a new phase in the war, one that's going to see us much more active, and I want you as our new commando. The old man's keeping his neck out of this one. He thinks we should keep our heads low and stay out of trouble. Well, I've had enough of that. No more defensive manoeuvres, no more shithouse posturing. It's time to give the Syndicate what they deserve. And if that means escalating the fight, then I say bring it the fuck on. You've shown you're good on your feet in a tight spot, and you've shown you can carry out raids in enemy territory. And you can keep yourself alive doing so. That's exactly what we need for some new, aggressive assaults on the Syndicate. You think this is some sort of joke? Wipe that fucking smirk from your face before I take it off with a lead pipe. We're talking serious fucking business here. Don't you give me no shit or I'll turn you into fucking fertilizer, you hear? That's what I've got the lads here for. Chill, Bullet Tooth, Shrapnel. I told you all I want new plans for how we can do some proper damage to the dogs. And new blood here is going to be our point person. What you got for me?
Graveyard shift again for me. Sick of it.
Guns is what we need, boss. Syndicate always have more than us. Way more. We can't win a war without enough weapons. Syndicate get regular supplies from the gentry factories. I know of a depot they run in a warehouse by West India Quay. I say we break in there and clean it out.
You must be joking. Security will be tighter than a rat's arse there. I'd have to send a whole team in to get more than a handful of guns. It's too dicey by half.
I know a gal that might be able to help us. An old, associate. She could find a way past the systems there, at least long enough to shift some crates out. We just need someone to break in and open the loading bay from the inside.
No, this is just stupid. Get your fucking brain in gear. I want to hurt the dogs, not do some petty theft. Anything we nick, they'd just replace in a week. We'd be better off burning the place down. Destroy whatever's there, fancy security and all, and fuck up their supply operations for months. Wouldn't even take much explosives to fry a weapons dump.
You're cool, boss. But there's bound to be some lovely gear in there. Would be a crying shame to see it all go to waste. If we're burning a place down, then there's no harm in nabbing some guns whilst we're at it, is there?
Okay, sure, but that's just some frosting. The real aim here is to fuck over the Syndicate. You been paying attention, wayfarer? Good. Take these charges, find a way into this warehouse and set them somewhere that'll cook extra crisp.
And take this old card of mine and go see Frosty Valentina. She runs a bakery these days near Millwall High Street. She should recognise the card from our old days. I'd go see her myself, but the syndicate sniffers would kill me on sight. Tell her what you're about, and she can sort you with something to bypass the security systems.
Waste of time. We don't need this Millwall bint.
Hey, no need to talk about Valentina like that.
Fine. I just want the fucking job done. No distractions.
Just a bit more territory up north. We might have a strategic advantage. Alright, gents. So tell me, what does the Syndicate have in abundance that we don't?
Web tools.
Herpes.
Literally everything.
No. I mean, yeah, probably. But I'm thinking of one thing in particular. Supplies. While we're choking down squirrel stew and using rock gut whiskey to treat anything from the flu to a bullet in the head, the IODS has enough food and medicine to supply both them and the whole of Westminster. I feel it's high time we alleviate them of some of that excess and put ourselves in a position to succeed. After all, health is wealth.
So what are you suggesting we do about it? And if you say a train robbery again, I swear to God.
Well, now, just hear me out. There's a train that makes up a third of the Syndicate supply line, and...
Oh, for fuck's sake, Winston. You've been reading your bloody spy comic books again. You're not 006 or whatever. Give it a rest.
Well, it's 005 actually, and what I read in my spare time has nothing to do with this. I really don't see what your issue is anyway. They have supplies, they transport them via train, we rob the train, it's simple.
It's not bloody simple. It's never bloody simple. There are far too many variables at play in a job like that. We broke even by the skin of our bollocks on the supply run to the lab, and you want to up the ante? Not a chance. Out of the question.
That's just it though, innit? You're looking at the ones and zeros of the returns from the lab. But the real intangible score of that job run is staring us right in the bloody face.
What are you on about? What, the Wayfarer? Not a bad point. Alright, fine. Here's what we'll do. Let's send the Wayfarer to strap on a tux and play international spy. And if they don't come back, we're only back to net zero on that lab run. Happy?
Seems like the more people we send, the better chance of success we'd have, but... Yeah, sure. I'll take what I can get.
Good. You should be thanking me for even agreeing to that. The stakes of a job like this are still sky high, seeing as if the Wayfarer fucks this up, the heat comes down on our heads like a redcoat's deli belly. You hear that, Wayfarer? If you muck this up and get yourself killed, I'll find you in the afterlife and shit down your throat for the rest of eternity.
Excellent. So the train passes through Poplar Station. That's where you'll be heading first. The station is a Syndicate outpost, so you'll most likely have to put down some dogs to get to the control room. Once you're there, all you have to do is switch the train's route to Canning Town Station. Hop aboard, and Bob's your uncle, you're done. We'll be waiting in Canning Town to unload the supplies. Easy peasy.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be just that simple. What could go wrong? It's only the Syndicate's most important and highly guarded assets we're talking about. So in case it's not the sunny stroll in the park that Winston is presenting it as, take these explosives. If we can't have those supplies, nobody can. Get me? If things start going south, blow that train to Kingdom Come. Even if we come away empty-handed, at least we'll muck up the Syndicate's main supply lines.
But securing those supplies is still the main objective, so don't go blowing them up for the hell of it. Any questions? The Vat Cats of the Gentry struck a bit of a deal with the mangy butts of the Isle a while back. In exchange for guns, slave labour, tickets, and a promise not to kick down their doors in the middle of the night, the Syndicate supplies Her Majesty and the distinguished royal court with food, medicine, and other essentials. But it's no secret that there's very little love lost between the lot. All it might take to get the gentry to double back on their little deal is a slight rock of the old boat, if you catch my drift. Something like a dashing rogue agent with a license to kill, intercepting their supply run, for instance. I don't know for sure, but there's a scene in Radfinger where 005 boards a moving train to neutralise an A-bomb somewhere in the Swiss Alps. If that's even loosely based on reality, then I'd expect heavily armed goons everywhere. Maybe some bookish scientists in lab coats. And I wouldn't count on the possibility of a few trained martial artists either. They'll attack you on sight, so your best bet is to go in stealth and kill them one by one, preferably with a silenced pistol. Medicine, wool, other finished goods and the like. But most importantly, anything you've been craving while licking the lid of a tin of dog food, they've got it in that train. Bangers and mash, eggs and rashers, proper baked beans, fish and chips, steaks as thick as a phone book. They've got it all. You pull this job off, and we'll quite literally be eating like royalty. Good luck, mate. The lads will see you in Canning Town. Quick, take this before Gaunt sees.
Christ, this is such a mistake.
I've got an easy aspiration, boss. I say we take down the dredge.
The Mudchute prison boat? What do you mean, take it down?
We crack it open and steal the yoke. There's a bunch of our blokes in there. Lab rat here can sneak in, let everyone out, then set a few well-placed bombs to sink the whole damn place.
I ever tell you you're a fucking lunatic, Johnny?
You've mentioned it a few times, boss, but what exactly is it about this that seems so mad?
The dredge is guarded to the tits. You couldn't sneak a gnat's fart in there. And what's the good in blowing it up? Syndicates have been trying to call us terrorists ever since we broke out that friend of Yvette's. If we bomb a prison, they'll just use that as propaganda against us.
Not everyone's fond of prisons, Gone, and our lot in there have some grit in a fight. Would be nice to have them back in our numbers rather than rotting in the clink.
There's some logic in your lunacy, Shrapnel. We could do with more hands, and it would stick it to the dogs if we break our boys out of the dredge. All right, tell our chum your plan then.
Syndicate's biggest and vilest prison. It's an old warship floating off the south end of Millwall. Its proper name is Mudchute Prison, but everyone calls it the dredge. The gentry send the debtors and persons non grata to rot there. The dogs also have a special block for vagabonds to capture. The dredge has a reputation for people only getting out as dog food. And there's worse what happens inside. Torture, experiments, abuse. It's fucking hell. I spent some time there myself. Managed to get away when I was transferred to a work camp. Worst experience of my miserable life. So nothing would give me more pleasure than to see that Abaddon obliterated. There's a gangplank from the shore near the front, and there's groups of guards patrolling all the time there. It's pretty tight, like the boss said. No one's ever gotten in by brute force. But a lone nutter, being all sneaky like, I reckon it could work if you're clever. You'll want to go at night, of course. Less patrols then. The door on the ship is locked, but it's not fancy if you know your way around some tumblers. Or you could try loot a key from the guard patrol, whilst not summoning all of Gehenna upon you. Should all be pretty easy in theory, right?
This is fucking madness, Johnny. Wayfarer, you feel up to this?
Hear that, boss? I think we got the right nutter for the job. Our vagabonds are kept in a block near the front, but you'll have to take down the security system before you spring them. The cells themselves are unlocked from the warden's office down the back of the ship. There's a bigger block in the middle you can open the same way, full of the gentry's convicts. It would be good to set the whole place free.
And have them all shot as soon as they try to leave. Our boys can handle themselves, but the other numpties will just get slaughtered or recaptured and we'll get the blame for it.
Maybe our nutter here could help take out some of the enforcers. No one deserves to rot in that place. And if we get the other prisoners out, we're free to set the bombs and do some permanent fucking damage.
Or end up with everyone sandwiched between explosions and syndicate enforcers. It would be a clusterfuck, Johnny. Let's just focus on getting our own lot out. Them others aren't our problem.
But the dredge, maybe it's too hard, but damn, I'd love to see that hellhole sink. Fan-fucking-tastic. Here, 3 bombs is enough to sink the ship if you get the chance to use them. They'll need placing around the lower deck. Once they're set, you'll need a scarper. Quick. Good luck, mate.
Bodies getting shot down never hurt anything.